Here, I'm right back at you like I never left, and I'm gonna go this hard to my last breath. It's a little Kenny Russell, Kanoom, Consul Moon. You already know what you're gonna get when you step in this room. You're now dealing with Kanoom. Yeah, yeah, I'm here. While I'm here, I'm gonna make the information direct and clear because a lot of y'all can't hear it. Yeah, yeah. Now, welcome back to Make My Ancestors Great Again. This is another episode. My thoughts. This is my thoughts 161. The channel I found this on is Elijah Ezekiel or Elijah Zeke. I don't not familiar with him at all. Never seen this channel before or any of his content. Um, this was suggested to me, okay, and I seen a guy on here. He named him. He said uh, Cliff gave a great response. I'm more interested in knowing who the gentleman was. I've seen him before. I would have to look at some more videos, so I don't know his name. But Elijah called him Zeke. He said Zeke gave a great response. Initially, they were just talking about, belief and things of that nature. And Jesus the Christ was stolen from Osiris and Horus. And the young man is on here trying to make a couple of points. And the guy, Cliff, he's on here he said he'd been doing this for 33 years, but that doesn't mean anything. You can have a PhD next to your name and still be a damn fool. Okay. That's number one. That's first and foremost. So don't be intimidated by people with all these college certifications and college degrees, because the very first person accepted one or received one, there was nobody else to hand them out before he received it. If you understand where I'm coming from. Okay. So people were always self-taught. You do not have to have these prestigious institutions to say, hey, I went to BYU, I went to XYZ, I went to USC, to mean that you have knowledge. That's silly, first and foremost. That's silly to think that. So this gentleman is saying a lot of things. So let's pick up and see what he's saying on the video. I don't own the video. You can go find it and watch it in its entirety at Elijah Zeke. I believe that's his name. Uh, Forgive me, I don't know it. So this is a fair use act. And I want to give my thoughts on the video. So let's look at it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're born as a Christian, as we are in America, most people are, and you have to be raised a Christian family life, that means that you're going to be a Christian and you're going to think all of the religions are myths. So that's therefore.
Okay, I agree with him on what he's saying. He just doesn't know how to properly articulate what he's trying to say. Hair going in my mouth, I'm sorry. But what he's saying is he's basing it and playing it on the statistics, if you will. He's playing the numbers game. He's saying if you was born here in America, 9 times out of 10, this is a Christian type of this is a Christian world, if you will. So 9 times out of 10, or it could be 6 or 7 times out of 10. If you was raised in a Christian household, quite naturally, predominantly Christian people are going to come out of Christian households. Now, it's not just a fact that's going to happen, because you have people who was born in Muslim households, Christian households, atheist households, and went on and found what they best believe fit them in terms of spirituality or religion. Okay, so that's not just a dominant fact, but he's playing the numbers game. So to act like this young man doesn't have any merit to what he's saying it's dishonorable. It's unbelievable. This man is an older Christian, and he's supposed to be able to have something like equality even when he's dealing with people, and he's gonna, entertain these type of polemics, if you will. It's not a debate, but it's more of just they just have a polemic. He believed one thing, he believed one thing, so they're talking about it. They're discussing it, you know. But to act like he's not saying what he's saying is correct, that's dishonorable. To have an older guy who's old enough to be his father or grandfather, look like, be so dismissive of the things he's saying, because that's factual. If you were born in an Islamic traditional area, geographical location, and you come from an Islamic home, 9 times out of 10, or like I say, you can go is further 7 out of 10 or 6 out of 10, whatever the stats is, the stats is going to favorably favor that child will come out as a Islamic person. Okay, so that's a fact. He said that what he's saying, the way he delivered it was wrong. He's saying that you're going to believe that all other religions are myth. That's not true. What he's meaning to say is if you're a Christian, you're going to believe that the only way you can get into heaven is through a Christian faith. Same thing with Judaism. The only way you can get into heaven in Judaism is be one of the chosen people, which is, a Hebrew or a Jew. To get in heaven through the Islamic faith, you have to be Islamic. Okay, so he's saying it, he's delivering it wrong, saying that you have to, when you're a Christian, everything else is a myth. That's the way we're taught. That's not the way you were taught. You were taught that no other religions are going to get into that and that you're going to be in because they're not of the same faith. So he's delivering it wrong, but what he's saying has merit to it.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Sir, I do not believe that Muhammad is a myth. I just told you. I'm a follower of Christ. I study history, and I know that Muhammad is a real historical person.
That's false. So this, like I said, this old dude with a PhD, I'm sure in theology or history, whatever he has. I don't know him. I'm going to find him, though. I might do another video on him this week and bring to you this gentleman. I know his name is Cliff because the other guy whose channel this is, he referred to him as Cliff. So I'm going to find out who this guy is and get down to the bottom of it. What he studied is biblical archaeology and biblical literature to deem that, Muhammad is a historical person. That's not true. When you're on the outside of religion, Muhammad is not a historical person. Muhammad had a flight out of Hira. He had when he transliterated and all that type of stuff like Jesus from the top of the dome of the rock or all these type of stuff. So the events Muhammad took just like Jesus. Buddha has the same fundamentals as Jesus. It was Muhammad wasn't, but Buddha was born of a virgin. Jesus was born of a virgin. Muhammad transfigured in front of so-called his followers. He got that from Jesus. Okay. Then the angel Gabriel started reciting the Quran to him for the last 10 years of his life and things of that nature, or the last 22 years of his life. And then he took him into heaven on the back of a donkey named Bakari with wings on it, took him into heaven, and they went all around. That's the flight out of Hira, I believe, or the flight out of Mecca. And he flew into heaven. A human being jumped on the back of a donkey named Bakari with a gentleman, an angel named Gabriel, and flew all across the world. See, traditionally, it was a magic carpet. They took that out. They knew people wasn't going to be satisfied with no carpet. Then they put in a flying donkey named Bakari, a donkey with wings on it. That's no more than a unicorn. So that's myth. This man has never studied history to the point that he was trying to disregard the things that he believed in because he's a Christian. So he said, that's not true. I don't believe that Muhammad is a myth, and I am a Christian. You're not going to do that because Muhammad is tied into Judaism, Islam, and Christianity through Isaac. See, so the Jews let Christians and the Muslims have a little religion of their own, but they tied them all together through Abraham, Isaac, and all this type of stuff. So that's false. To prove what I'm saying, in Mustard, Germany, it was a gentleman named Muhammad VII Kalish. You can look him up. He was going to be the world most renowned Islamic teacher. They built a big time center of Islam for him to teach at. And he went to look for Muhammad, and he said, upon looking further, I cannot say that Muhammad is a historical person. And he quit and went world renowned. It's all across the newspaper in Mustard, Germany. Muhammad VII Kalish. So this gentleman does not know what he's talking about. He did not study history because history is best qualified to reward all research. There's never been a Muhammad. There's never been a historical Jesus. And there's never been a historical Buddha. That's a lie. But he's doing that to reinforce his spiritual and his religious beliefs.
Sure, it's really helpful to think. You got to keep thinking, though. Muhammad was an historical person. Jesus was an historical person. Siddhartha Gautama Buddha was an historical person.
All those three names is one person. Okay? All those three names is one person. Myth.
The avatars of Hinduism are not historical individuals.
If you were born in Pakistan and you believe that in the Muslim faith and that you were a Muslim all your entire life, you would think that Christianity is a myth, right?
See, that's his only problem. He's saying if you was born in Pakistan your whole life and you was raised as a Muslim, you're going to believe that Christianity is a myth. That's not true. They don't believe that it's a myth. They just believe that the Christians have a little bit of the story, but they don't have the complete story, because Muslims believe in Allah and the Christians believe Jesus the Christ is God. Okay?
How do you know that? How do you know if I had been born in Pakistan what I would believe? How do you know that?
Because you're a Christian here and you were born in America, I'm guessing, right? And you probably were raised by a Christian family. And if you were raised by your Christian family, that means that your entire life you would have thought Christianity before anything else. Your parents probably told you Jesus Christ is the Lord and Savior, you know? And if you automatically think that when you're born, you believe that when you're born, I mean, like, how can you get out of that statement? You have to obviously you'd have to in your mind say that God isn't real so you can think about something else first. It doesn't make.
Okay, what the young man was saying was true. He didn't deliver it properly on some of the standpoints he was trying to deliver, but he knew what he was saying. He was hitting direct on head. With this gentleman named Cliff, we're going to find out who he is before the week is over. What he was doing was utilizing biblical history, biblical archaeology, and the history of literature, religious literature, the Quran, the Bible, and the Torah. So he's wrong, Cliff. The young guy was just playing a stats game, basing it on statistical analysis. He was more right than this gentleman was, and he's supposed to be the teacher. So like I say, you can have a PhD by your name, a doctorate, and all this type of stuff, and still be a damn fool. You can have a master's degree and be a damn fool. That's my thoughts on the video. It's Lil Kenny Russell, Kanoom, Consul Moon. You already know what you're going to get when you step in this room. Now I'm dealing with Kanoom. This is what I do, and I love to do it. Before I take back what I said, I add some more to it. This goes to show you all them reverends and deacons and all that that's trying to sell you and talking about this stuff is historical. No, it's not. There's never been a Muhammad found anywhere on this planet. If he's historical, where is his body? Oh, wait a minute. He transfigured in front of all his followers and he turned into nothing, just like Jesus. Jesus is real. Where's his body? Oh, yeah. He rose after 3 days and he's somewhere walking around right now. This Buddha, all this type of stuff that he's talking about. Where is Buddha? Never been any Buddha. Those are all myths. His mother was in a rose garden, woke up pregnant. She was a virgin. That's the same story. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and I thank you for watching. And if you feel like you want to do something for me, like and subscribe, because it don't cost you a fee. Education and preparation is the first step to retaliation. So before you pick up a weapon, pick up some knowledge.